Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. If this is your first time here, welcome back. If you are a returning supporter, I'm here to give you the disclaimers for this here live. Listen, I do not tolerate disrespect. That's in any way, shape, form, or fashion, whether it's towards me, towards anyone that appears on the screen, towards anyone that appears in the chat. If you have not decided to be a better person, most people will tell you to leave, but I'm going to tell you to stick around because maybe something that is said today will encourage you to do so. Now, I am not a mental health professional. I am just one woman willing to share my personal experiences to let you know two things. One, you are not alone, regardless of how much you feel like you are alone, how many times you have felt that, you are not alone. And number two, you can overcome anything that life throws at you. There will be curse words, there will possibly be tears, but knowing me, it probably will be. And my opinions are my opinions. Your opinions are your opinions. We are here to have a nurturing conversations in regards to our opinions so that we will have a better understanding of each other. That's all I got for right now. I hope that you enjoy this nurturing conversation. Let's get to it. Wait. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button that helps me say suggested on YouTube. Make sure that you type in the chat, also leave a comment, and share it with your friends. That's all I got. Let's get into this conversation. I love you. Hello, beautiful people. Okay, I think y'all should be able to hear me now. I hope that you all are having a wonderfully amazing Sunday. My day has been pretty amazing. I'm super excited. Um, I have a special guest, a longtime friend. She's here to talk about family support of the LGBTQI plus A, which I will refer to as the Alphabet Mafia for the rest of this um, podcast. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. But I have something that I want to read in acknowledgement of the end of Pride Month. Um, as we have reached the end of Pride Month, it's important to reflect on its significance and the progress we've made, as well as recognize the work that still needs to be done. Pride Month is a time to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community, honor the history of the Alphabet Mafia rights movement, and acknowledge the struggles and triumphs of the LGBTQ plus individuals. Throughout June, we've seen parades, events, activities that highlight the importance of visibility and equality. But as Pride Month concludes, our commitment to supporting the LGBTQ plus community must continue. The love, acceptance, and advocacy that we demonstrate during Pride Month should extend throughout the entire year. Pride Month is not just about celebrating, it's also about educating ourselves and others, challenging discrimination, and fostering inclusive environments where everyone feels safe and valued. By continuing this work beyond June, we can help build a world where love truly triumphs over hate and every individual is free to live authentically. Okay. So today we're gonna talk about families, acceptance, how you can support someone who identifies as a member of the Mafia, the LGBTQ plus community. We're going to talk about educating yourself, understanding, open up your mind to understand um, individuals or human beings that don't identify as you do, steps you could take to um, learn more. So let me introduce y'all to my guest. Her name is Erie. Her name is Erie. Okay, hold on. Let me put you on the screen. There you go. So thank you so very much for accepting the invitation to come on. I truly appreciate that. You can grab that. It's fine. Oh, it broke. No, it didn't break.
Well,
Hi, Daniel.
it's totally my pleasure to be here, and I want to see how I can contribute to you. Hey, what you got going on?
That's cool. Oh, I probably should have had the questions up here. Jeez. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Let me grab my questions because I had a bunch of questions that I'm just gonna ask. Because those of you who may know, maybe you don't know, that I am a proud card-carrying member of the Alphabet Mafia.
Woo!
And yeah, I grew up in church. Nope, let me take that back. I grew up in a cult. That many people call a church. I grew up in a cult. And there was so much hatred pushed towards the LGBTQI plus A Alphabet Mafia community. Um, and it never caused me to look at religion differently. It's so many different things that caused me to look at religion differently, but it wasn't because of their hatred for the homosexual community. And I said in my disclaimer that my views and opinions might not match yours, but hey, that's just how I feel. I feel like the hatred for the homosexual community comes from religion. A large majority of it comes from religion. So I have a couple of questions that I'm going to ask Erie. Um, can you share with us a little bit like who you are? What's your background? Um, and if you feel like your religious views shaped how you look at homosexuality.
Like she said, I'm Erie, longtime friend, and we pretty much sisters. Definitely a trauma bond, but we sisters. And I would say religion in its totality, I would say it was the first place that I learned where great division came from. Um, it was very contradictory. It was always love, 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 regardless, in spite of. But if you don't conform, I don't like you. I don't love you. I don't respect you. I don't hear you. And I separate myself from you. So that was where, I guess I could say that that's where religion created such a great divide between homosexuality, whatever it was, whatever it is that is not, that you would choose not to conform to, you are no longer loved. You're no longer important, no longer respected. It's like those entities or people have power over you because you're smaller than them, belittling because you don't look the same, talk the same, walk the same. And it just wasn't for me, and apparently not for a lot of people. And I don't think that religion hates homosexuality. I mean, I'm sure they probably do, but I think it's more so people won't conform. They won't listen to them. It's like they want to say, stop being gay today, and that's it, because that's how powerful they want to be. And because they're not that powerful, I've never seen anything spoken and manifested just like that. And because that power isn't there and that power isn't manifested, I believe that's where the hatred comes from. Because now you're the devil, because now you won't change. It got to be a demon. Because I have all this power and I should be able to speak this to you, and you're not changing. I think that's where that comes from. So I would say religion is definitely where I learned the great divide, to be divided.
Hi, Famaka. Welcome. Tonight we're talking about love over hate and families and other people, supporting people who identify as a member of the Alphabet Mafia. That's the LGBTQ plus community. Um, I say religion teaches hate towards homosexuality because a lot of people learn about homosexuality from church, and a lot of families learn about it because they like church is like the foundation of many households. Um, so let's just jump right in about your initial views of the homosexual community. I don't even know what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it the alphabet mafia. It's so many different terms. But what was your initial views on the alphabet community?
I wouldn't say I had any negative thoughts or positive thoughts. It was a either way thing for me. It wasn't a It wasn't I view these as bad people because they like the same sex, or they good people because they like the same sex. And just in piggybacking off religion, when I was a part of religious groups, they didn't have husbands and they didn't have wives, but they were so concerned about same sex people getting together, which was that was I would say another contradiction for me, because you fighting against homosexuals being married or dating or relate or having relationships, and here you are not with a relationship, but you have all this love, this peace, this kindness, this passion, this patience, and yet ain't nobody out here loving you, and you ain't out here loving nobody in that manner. So again, a lot of contradiction with religion and the homosexuality culture. But I would say I was never shocked by anything because it's nothing new. I think the internet just made it more gave it more of a voice and more of a sight. I think if it was out of sight and out of mind, it wouldn't be talked about as much. But because people are so open and honest and ready to be who they are, I think that's what caused a great discussion. But I'm still living in it like it was generations ago. It never bothered me because it's not beneficial to me, and it didn't create it doesn't take anything from me, and it never added anything to me. I'll say that. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but who am I to be getting in a business? It doesn't it never benefited me. It won't change the way I look at things, the way my life is. It just never did. So I would say my initial take on it would be it is what it is. Nothing you can change. People can say you should have discipline over this and discipline over that. But again, even when I was in church, I didn't see no discipline over food. I didn't see no discipline over how much we talk.
I knew that was
I didn't see no discipline over the things that we had in our lives, the obsession, the obesity. I didn't see any of that. I still see people dying unhealed. So because it didn't take away or add, it didn't make me a difference.
so that kind of answered my next question that I was going to ask you. So, um, did you or how did the conversation happen between you and your daughter as she I'm sure as a parent you probably was able to see it, but how did you feel when she actually identified what she was?
Okay, so the one thing I know religion is very popular for is, like I said, the great divide. And what I love about myself and my relationship with the family that I created, there is no division. I was pretty much up on it. And also, I do want to say this: my daughter is 20 years old. She started feeling like she probably liked the same sex when she was maybe 16 or 17, but because she's that young, logically as a parent, I know you can't make those type of decisions. I know that because I was that age. So I didn't make a big deal about it. No dramatics behind it. And she didn't, it was never any coming out, for one, because I know my children. And I just looked at her and I can just tell. So it was never a coming out story, or we never tiptoed around it. We had an honest conversation because we're honest people and we was an honest family. The love is honest and genuine. So it was never where I needed to be shocked or walk on eggshells, or where I needed to cater to, where I needed her to cater to my emotions. I was just there to support her if that was the decision that she's making at this time. Still at age 20, she's dating a girl right now, and I'm just not the person to say this ain't what you want, or this. I feel like they're younger and this is what they're going to do. They're going to experiment. And I feel like if people had experimented more, it wouldn't be so much confusion out here to begin with.
Oh, that's what I say. Like, I feel like if more people, when they were younger, like, experimented, or even not just even when it comes to LGBT, but like life, period. If people were outside more or traveled and saw different other people, met other people, or open to meeting other people, I feel like people, we
Or
as
just
a
experienced
whole,
other cultures.
yeah,
Or
we would just be more advanced. We would definitely be more advanced. Um, what, if anything, have you done to like? I know you said it wasn't. It's not. It is what it is for you. But have you taking that time to like educate yourself on?
So as far as that, I'm not gonna say I act like I know everything and I'm very nonchalant about it, but the education part came in because I'm an intelligent person. I'm not an educated person. I'm just intelligent. I'm logical and sensible. I don't have a lot of schooling after high school, so I'm not educated. But I did have to educate myself on things to say. And I'm not saying that I was saying derogatory terms. I just say stuff and it probably wasn't appropriate. Or for example, my daughter, she did try to come out or she tried to say what she liked or didn't like. And I'm not going to say I ruined the moment, but I probably did because I just looked at her and said, well, I knew it already because you're constantly wearing flannel jackets. And I just thought that, I was just being very stereotyped. So I say educating myself was using appropriate terms and not being a stereotype about everything. But as a parent, it's also just knowing that children try things or children do things to anger you. So when you start distancing yourself from your child because they're homosexual or distancing yourself from your family because of they like a certain thing and they're at this young tender age, I find that to be the most disrespectful and the rudest way to handle things, and also a traumatic way to handle things because sudden loss is real. When someone says, this is who I am, and then all of a sudden they have no friends and no family because they came out as homosexual, they suddenly lose the love that you have for them, the respect that you have for them. Just, I mean, that's a lot of trauma to put on somebody that's that young. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
That's just me being sensible. Some kids do things and say things just to make their parents angry, just to get a reaction out of whomever. So to react so dramatically and just, I don't love you anymore. You can't come to my house no more unless, you get rid of that. That's traumatic for a child. So I definitely try to make sure that I educated myself on the terms that I want to use, the words that I want to use, the phrases that I use. And I had to come back off of being so stereotyped or maybe because I watch a lot of movies and I might see it in a movie and just assume that that's what it is, and it's really not. So that's where my education came in. It was more so to educate me on how to speak LGBTQ language where I'm not being offensive.
Yeah, that's really important, and one of the things that I talk about a lot on the Nurturing Conversations podcast is because I wasn't aware that coming out was as big as it was, and not saying it like that, but I never came out. I just
And
was who
yeah,
I
even
was.
with you, it was just, Shelly gay. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm so not trying to be stereotyped, but there are people you can look at and just be like, it is what it is. And I'm not, how you were, Shelley. You wasn't a boy crazy person. You were never a male crazy person. Men liked you, but you never really, gave that energy back. But also the way you carried yourself, it was just like, my nigga, like, oh, it was just my sister like girls, I just knew it. And it really did come from a stereotypical place, but it was out of love. Like the way you dressed, the way you acted towards men, I could just tell that you probably weren't into that. So you another person that didn't need to come out.
Yeah, so like I never I didn't understand it until I was surrounded by young people who were coming out,
Yeah,
and
that
then
age.
responses that their family they were receiving from their family, and it was just bonkers to me. Like it was so many people that got kicked out because they came out of the closet, and I was so heartbroken to know like people were actually experiencing. And then like there was a long period of where there were young people unaliving themselves because they were identifying and trying to be the best person they could for their family members, and it wasn't working. And like she just said, like that sudden loss for me, I was a grown ass woman, so it didn't even matter to me. But a lot of people, it was a lot. When I say a lot of people, like people I was kicking it with, was cool with, when they found out I was gay, and it was just like, oh, she tried to come on to me, and I'm just looking like, no, I know
Never.
you done slept with
Never.
half of the block, honey. It's a no for me. No, I'm just playing. But there was people out here sleeping with a lot of people, thinking I've never been like that, but I definitely wanted to talk about this today because I feel like most people don't take the time to educate. Like most parents are just like, you not gay. Like I'm happy you touched on the point where you said that she was at an age where logically she couldn't make that decision.
Yeah, this is the age where they still experiment. Even the law says you're, well, biologically, scientifically, your brain isn't fully developed till you're about 25, 26 years old, which is why I'm understanding that they changed the some of the driver's laws and the insurance laws and just scientifically. So making a decision about your sex or having a sex change or deciding that for the rest of my life at 20 years old, for the rest of my life, this is what I want to do. So I didn't want to be dramatic or take immediate action. And then, like you just said, people kill themselves. I'm just going to be honest. I would be embarrassed if my child or my loved one killed themselves because they were coming out. Like, I just feel like they're only giving you words, and now you took those words and turned it into something. Now they just wanted to off themselves. That I no. So she's a young lady, and most of the people that are battling right now, or I shouldn't say that, but most of the people that are fighting against or fighting for the LGBTQ community, they are much younger, and they are making decisions about their sexuality at an extremely young age where their brain isn't fully developed. I mean, you ain't traveled the world yet. You haven't figured out your personality, grown into your characteristics, started a business, any of those things, and all. But yet, here's where your sexuality is. So I'll just say, definitely educate yourself as a parent, as a community, people that's in your neighborhood or whatever, before you just start dismissing them, because they making these decisions based off maybe what they see or heard or whatever. So I would say I should definitely say that the community should ease up on the LGBTQ clan or whatever they are. I think we should ease up, especially on the younger ones, especially on our children. How I would never understand how parents are so hard on their children when they find out who they love or what they love. The fact that they love something is should already be um, um, commended, that they love something, because kids these days, they barely love stuff, they barely enjoy things. Everything is on the phone and that's it. Their head is down, their back is arched, and that's it. They're not finding love out here. So I would just be happy to know that somebody loved my child to begin with.
Yeah. I definitely um advocate for young people, or surrounding myself, or talking to young people if and when they decide they want to identify, because like I said, like growing up in a cult or religion or church or
Not
whatever
the
you want to call it,
goat.
um it definitely there definitely is stigma around it, especially in the Black community. I was just expressing to someone earlier, like there's like this idea of a gay touch, like you gonna touch me and I'm gonna automatically turn gay, or I'm gonna hang out with you and then I'm gonna start wanting to do gay things. It's just like it don't happen like that. And I was expressing to them, like anybody that like doesn't identify as gay and they just turn gay, they probably was always gay and just didn't feel accepted, or didn't feel like people would accept them in that, so they just did whatever was popular. And there's a lot of people out here who get married, have kids, all those things, um, and suppress those feelings because they don't want people to look at them differently. They don't want people to not be their friend. Like I said, like I had a lot of people to this very day who still see me and be like, "Oh, God gonna deliver you," and I just be looking like, and if He don't, that what does that mean? And I'm not saying that God can't or He won't. I'm just saying if He doesn't, does that mean you can't speak to me anymore? Like that mean you can't hang out with me? Because like people, real life was just like, "Oh, I can't talk to you anymore because you need God, you need to be delivered." And then I was just looking at them like, you have no idea. I was also talking to someone earlier about, so I have a plethora of reasons why I say the church is one of the main people that preach hate. Because I was having a conversation with someone and I was telling them when they speak about Sodom and Gomorrah, like that's the thing that they talk about. Oh, that's God destroying it because they were gay, and I was like, that's not why God destroyed it. So most people see me, they like, oh, she's an LGBT, like she don't know God. Let me tell her about it. And I'm like, if you knew the
Wrong one.
relationship I had, you probably wouldn't. But then it's just like I'm not for like fear mongering or trying to tell people you're gonna go to hell for who you love or what you love. I'm more for understanding people where they are and why they make the decisions. For me, I don't have kids, but for me, I'm more understanding of parents who allow their children to experiment, not like going to get sex changes or anything like that, but you allow your children to experiment. Like your daughter, you might know she like to play basketball and hang out, whatever, but like you said, like not being dramatic and like, oh, my daughter is gay. Maybe she's not gay. She just like comfortable clothing. Or maybe your son doesn't want to play basketball or football. Maybe he want to do chess, or maybe he want to do fashion. That doesn't necessarily make them gay, but being open and understanding like, hey, my child is going to do the opposite of what I actually want them to do. Like, I get the logic and not being able to understand, but the fact that if a child identifies as something, you give them the option to say, let me explore it, instead of just shutting it down. Because I feel like if a lot of people above me, like older than me, I just turned 44 on last week Wednesday, but I feel like if a lot of people older than me had the opportunities that we have now, where you could be open and there's like pride fests and all these different things, I feel like it wouldn't have been as much. um I think the stigma will always be there with the African American community though, because it's like
Yeah,
rawr,
I think the African American community is so
rawr.
much on gender roles. Like even when we first started being very open about your sexuality, and I kept asking, "Well, are you the lady or the man?" And you just kept having to explain to me it don't work like that. But that's because my mind was so drawn, so on the fact that there are gender specific roles. Until one day I was like, I know this church lady that takes her own garbage out, got to take her own car to get the oil change. Nobody, that's something that they say men should be doing. Yes, she got to do it because ain't nobody over there loving her or giving her the opportunity to,
Yeah.
ain't nobody beating down her door to take her garbage out or fix her car or clean her garage. And she doing it all on her own. So I had to come out of that and be like, you know what? It couldn't be gender specific because church ladies are still out here taking out their own garbage and they still out here taking care of their own children with no father involved. So same difference. I had to come out of the whole gender thing,
Yeah,
which, because especially when we first became more open about you being who you
I
were.
love how you
Is
say
you
it.
gay?
I love how you
I don't know
saying
how to
we.
say it.
I love how you saying we.
Well, I'm
Yes,
saying we
we.
because,
I am gay. I identify as a lesbian. I love women.
and I just was like, well, who's the lady? Who's the man? Because you was still getting your hair done, and sometimes, still being
But see, that's a
fit. So
that's
I
a
didn't
stereo.
know.
That was one of the
Stereo
stereotypes where it's like
education.
somebody has to be the guy, and it's like you can't be. Then it's like then we have fem and stem and stud and all of these different things, and so like as like now there's, I call it the alphabet mafia, because there's so many different things. And so for me it's just like I'm just gay. That's all. I don't know more than that. I just gay. I like women. Like people was like, you're gay but you don't have a girlfriend. I was like, that doesn't mean that I'm not gay. Like that just means that I am choosing to work on myself right now. I'm choosing to work on my businesses. I'm choosing to be happy for myself. That doesn't mean that I'm
That's the
not
same as
gay.
most people.
Yeah, that's just like if a
Even, yeah,
heterosexual
yeah.
person
We
wasn't in
just
a
working on
relationship. You just
ourselves.
single working on yourselves. But it's so many different stereotypes. Like the one thing that really bothers me is when people say like there is an agenda, like there's a gay agenda being pushed everywhere.
Mm.
And I say to myself, we're talking about a gay agenda, but nobody talks about the fact that everything from Disney movies, everything talks about heterosexual. For me, it's we talk about inclusivity and we talk about people having a place amongst other people. I feel like it's important to give people who feel like they are who identifies, for them to see themselves in different spaces. It's important for people to identify. Like, it was such a huge thing when Barack Obama became president because he's black, and it's like, oh, he's the president of the United States now. Oh, we can definitely get in the office, but it's like people who were like me, like I loved Rainbow Bright because she was gay. She had the rainbow. I'm telling you, like I was identifying with so many different things, but then at the same time, like I was just telling somebody, right? I said when I was growing up in the cult, I had never knew what a hermaphrodite was.
Really?
I never knew that.
I knew that. Wait, you went to
I mean,
suburban schools.
I
They
knew
didn't
that.
tell you?
No, I knew that, but I never knew like the way that it was described in the cults. And then as I got older, I was so perplexed by, okay, if you were born with both male and female parts and your parents decide they wanted a son, and your other part got like, you know, whatever happened with your other part, and then you grow up and you don't identify as a son, you identify as the daughter. How is that handled? And so I was so confused or perplexed, and I just wanted to know. And then I watched a TED talk with a lady, and she doesn't identify as a hermaphrodite. That's what they call it. I don't mean any disrespect or anything. That's what it was told to me. That's what it was as I was growing up. But I watched a TED talk, and she said so many people tried to get her to have the surgery, and I just thought to myself like, "Oh my god, that would be crazy."
Wait, you saying she you watched a TED talk of a woman who still has both?
Yeah, she
okay,
has.
Okay.
She said she was talking about how they told her she should have the surgery, and then like she had to make the decision on which one, and then she was like, "But I can't like." This is me, like I'm just me. And so I was just asking questions, and for me it's like when I ask questions and people can't like I think that's what I think is. It just dawned on me what it probably is, because I'd be asking questions, and when people portray that they know the answers and they can't answer the questions, it just is mind boggling to me. So I just wanted to know, like, if they have two parts and the parents want a son, but the child grows up to be a daughter, how is that handled? Like, who is that a discussion that they have with the child and ask them? No, because like you just stated, that logically they can't make that decision. So then,
well, that person, I think her hermaphrodites. I
it's
think
got to
that
be
would
another
be.
name for them. We don't
I
know the
think
name.
that would be separate because I'm not trying to say that being a lesbian or being in a homosexual relationship that you're um confused. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like if you born with both parts, hands down, you're born confused, hands down, because we wiping and tugging. Just this is logical sense to me. You are born confused if you are born with both parts. You have. I don't know any hermaphrodites. I've never listened to a TED talk. This is just me thinking sensibly. You're going to be confused. That's what I feel like. It coming to age. First of all, I have one body, one part, and out of my pubescent years, I was very confused with everything, pimple, everything that comes with being a young teenager or preteen and then going into a teenager. I was feeling all that, the insecurities, the ugly, the pimples, the unwanted, can't make it in school. What team should I be on? Do the cheerleaders like me? And then to add on top of that, now you got two body parts tugging and wiping. I just feel like you're going to be confused anyway. And that to me seems like something a parent just got to whole heart make that decision when you're born. To let somebody live like that or to grow up like that and say, hey, you got to make that decision, I think that would be too hard.
It's called intersex. Please forgive us.
Oh,
We did not know the name. We just called it what we knew
not
as it
canceling
growing
me.
up. It's intersex. We didn't get canceled.
But also, you know what I want to touch on? You said agenda. And I know that I do hear agenda a lot because I see it on my timeline. And I see it in social media that they say the LGBTQ community has an agenda to make everyone gay. So they put it on TV. Listen, Snow White and Cinderella, they all have been saved by Prince Charming. Yours still ain't here. Where's the I mean, if that's the agenda, why isn't it working for you? I watched Cosby all my life. I still ain't a lawyer or a doctor. You know what I mean? If that was the if what you put on TV is supposed to make me change because they show me two men kissing or two women kissing, and now I want to be kissing a woman, I just don't think that's true. You can't change my mind by something that you put before me. Otherwise, everybody's mind would be changing all day, every day.
This is
I
all
grew up watching sitcoms where black moms, Fresh Prince, lawyer and a judge and whatever she was. Listen, that didn't change my mind of what I wanted to do. I think she might have just been a house mom. And I wanted to be that too. Did it happen? No, the agenda didn't work there. You get what I'm saying? You can't create an agenda by saying I'm putting this in. Also, why you not that powerful of a parent that your kids don't see you and admire you and want to be like you?
Can we talk about that? No.
If the TV is changing your child's mind, that's your problem. Why you not changing your child's mind? Why your child not looking at you and saying, I want to be just like her. I want to be like my mama. She's so loved and she's so kind and she's so patient and she got all the 13 characteristics. That's not possible, because if that were true, your children would be conforming to what you are, because you're ever before your children. You're the one that's speaking to your children. You're the live, living example for your children, or what the church folks say. You're the living epistle for your children, but you telling me the TV changing it and you walking around with all this power, but yet the TV has more power. That's contradicting. That more contradictions for me and confusing, I would think, for a child to say, oh, you can't, like my mother. My mother put me on punishment because I was watching Ellen DeGeneres because she thought I was going to get the gay. Because I liked Ellen DeGeneres. The woman just funny. The sense of humor is dry. I just liked her. But also, I knew Ellen was gay when she didn't even have to come out either. She was another one of those people that I stereotyped and said, baggy clothes, short hair, gay. That was just me. But yeah, my mom put me on a punishment for watching her because she thought that was going to change the way I saw people, or that I would start liking women. And it just don't go like that. That has to be something that you want to do. Me and you have been friends for a long time. I'm on the radio. You and I have been friends for a very long time. I never look at you and say, I gotta be gay like Chelle. Her life is such a living epistle, and she is gay and got all this going on for herself. She just did a Summerfest show. I gotta be gay. It doesn't work like that. If you got $1 million today, I still wouldn't say, now I'm going to be gay so I can get that $1 million. It's not something that's in me. People that hang around gay people and become gay, it's already been in them. They was just looking for somebody to help them cultivate it out of them. That's what I think. People are looking for cultivation, but don't hide behind it. That's something you've always been. That's what I think.
That's what I feel like. A lot of people, like the straight community, when gay people say you twitching or you feeling that kind of ways because you got some secrets in your closet that you haven't addressed yet. And a lot of times people be having those secrets and they be wanting to say stuff and be wanting to do stuff. But again, they hide behind religion. They hide behind, my family. They hide behind a lot of things. And for me, I've never been one to like, I'm not, hide who I am. I'm just who I am. I'm not one for like, not being me so that I can make you feel comfortable. That's not me, because if you don't feel comfortable being around me, that's not something wrong with me. That's something wrong with you. And we surviving a global fucking pandemic, and if you still walking around here scared of getting a gay touch, I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, I don't want the COVID touch.
That's what.
And the way people on my timeline, the heterosexuals on my timeline, the dating pool, the baby daddies still having babies and the daddy not helping. I don't want that touch either. Not the gay touch. I don't want none of those touches.
I don't want
that. That's where I am in life. Nothing gonna change my mind because your life looks appeasing over here. I want to do that. I just don't think it's no agenda. But I get people saying it's an agenda, and that's because they ain't got no power in their homes.
Yeah, so that's why when I talk about the LGBT community, or even just period, it's like for me, the family, like your home life, is the first place you experience love, you experience hate. It's like where you experience everything. And for me, I'm grateful to have come from a family that loves, that talks about everything. Now, my mother will be totally transparent. She definitely was like, A lot of bad things happened to her in her life because I was
She was
gay.
about to say, oh yeah.
A lot of things that she wasn't
Oh
able to
wait, happened
get
to
because
her
yeah,
because of you.
because of me being
So
gay.
what? So
Like God
before
was
you were gay,
punishing
was
her.
bad, was good, was great things happening to her before.
But that's the thing that I'm saying. Like most people, like most people, y'all probably watching this and was like, wait, she gay? A lot of people
Wait,
don't.
they probably watching thinking I am.
No, she's got a whole
I'm here
husband.
on behalf of a relationship that I share with my daughter, and she brought me. Not
She's
me.
not gay. She's not gay. She's my friend. She's not gay. She's straight. Period.
As a board. But it was that one time. And that's how I know I'm not. That's another thing. Let me just say that since we on this show. I've had a lesbian experience. I've had it. I did not get up and say that. As a matter of fact, in the middle of that experience, I was not with it. Honey, that's too wet. Women are complex, complicated creatures. I'm down there giving it my best, honey, and this woman said, I've had better. You know what? Go get better. I guess this isn't for me. So that's why I'm saying you can't change people, because I was in the middle of an experience and I knew right then and there, no, this ain't for me. You can't change people because
it wasn't me though. It wasn't
me. Make it clear, because baby, they gonna go off that mean you've been doing it. No,
we
it's
we
just
never
that
even did nothing like that.
I'm just making a point that in the middle of trying something, in the middle of an experience, I knew that it wasn't for me. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think that you can change people just by sitting by them, just by hanging with them. And I've been hanging with Shells for over 20 years. I think we can say over 30 years now.
Girl,
how old are you? 45? I'm 43.
I'm 44.
We've been hanging with each other over 40 years. I met her when I was 5, and she ain't gonna change my mind, honey, at all. Sitting by her, I done spent a night with her. We've hung out, we've cried together. Nothing about that said, Erie, you know what? About time you switch over. You've been hanging around Shelly a long time. So I just think people have that, what's that called? Commercial. They have commercialized thoughts about homosexuality. Yeah. And I feel like if they educated themselves or stop separating themselves so much from, and I don't mean like separation because you don't walk by them. I mean they separate themselves as I can't talk to them, I can't be around them. And it's always a I'm too good for them judgmental type of separation. Yeah. I get a separation where you say, hey, I don't like what you're doing with your life. I'm a move on. I'm a move on. But to just completely dismiss a person, disrespectful to a person because of their sexuality, I just can't see the benefit of that for them or for you.
Yeah, I definitely I tell y'all when people was like, wait, she gay? Oh yeah, I remember that one time I was just looking at her. I'm like, girl, I ain't.
And what's crazy is you don't have that personality.
I would.
You don't have the personality to chase women. You wouldn't even chasing men. Like you don't. You're not that type of person.
I be trying to tell people the kind of person I see. That's the thing. Like I be wanting or not wanting. I be encouraging. There we go. I be encouraging people to take the time to get to know me because I'm not. I'm light, love, and positivity all day long. And that when I say that, I'm
for sure way better than me.
I'm
way
literally that. I don't.
Your spirit is sometimes too calm for me.
I don't play. I don't play. I just realized last week. Last week, I just realized like, holy shit, you be allowing so much stuff. But I had said before, when I get ready to turn 44, I was gonna start, setting boundaries and setting 10 toes down on them. And so I've been wrecking. I've been wrecking stuff out here because I've been setting them boundaries and standing on them. Before I just let it, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you don't know, but then at some point, like you said, they don't get it till they 25. At some point, you got to figure it out. And I'm not gonna be here holding your hand. It's a no for me. Now, if you younger than that, I might, but older than that, it's a no. I'm not holding your hand. It's a no. I will support you, but at a certain point, you got to stand on your own 2 feet. At some point in this, and that's why I was saying back to families. A lot of times, families are so worried about how people are going to look at them instead of understanding that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the embarrassment. Even with sexual assault, if I hate to go there, but even with sexual assault, where they'll believe you until they find out other people know that it happened. Now you embarrassing us. Don't talk about what's going on in the house and this and that.
The embarrassment.
So yeah, I think they're just more so embarrassed than anything. Which I that's where I'm at. I don't know what you're embarrassed about if your son or daughter likes the same sex. I don't get what you're embarrassed about. It ain't you.
You know, so I remember when this is no shade, brat. This is no shade.
To who?
To the brat.
Oh, the brat.
Like
she ain't have to come out either.
Who knew that she was.
It's gay. So many people.
But
that
I remember
have to
her
out.
saying. I remember her having a conversation. I think it was Candy. She was telling her how she didn't want to embarrass her grandmother because I guess her grandma was come from a Pentecostal church, or apostolic church, so she didn't want to embarrass. And I was like, imagine how many people are like suppressing who they are because they don't want other people to be embarrassed. I'm not gonna say that I didn't really care, but I didn't really care because I'm not about to suppress who I am while you out here frolicking through the daisies and being whoever you want to be, but I can't be who I. It's enough for me. I'm either this is who I am, and it wasn't no you gonna accept me or not accept me. It's just like this who I am. You know my character. If you know me, you know my character. I don't get down like that. That's the thing for me.
I'm just it's the only thing that I think I would have to accept is all them colors. That's it. I'm not being funny. A rainbow just ain't me. You got to give me some style, one flat color and one pop color. That's me, my personality. That's what works for me. One flat style, one pop color. That's me. That's the only thing that will bother me. Because what else is it that will bother me hanging with you and knowing you like women? You're not pushing nothing on me. You're not making me do anything. You don't have me in poor situations. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then when you go to the brat, talking about she was in a Pentecostal apostolic church, being in that and telling me what works, telling me you shouldn't be gay. I get that. Tell me that. But show me how being on your side works better. Show me how you not still struggling and crying and in tribulations for basic necessities, food, clothing, and shelter. Still begging God for food, clothing, and shelter. Show me that, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe. But I don't really know any church folks that are just living the life. I mean, it's always trouble, trials, tribulations, fighting the devil. I get that. Do your thing. But tell me why I want to leave homosexuality to come fight the devil. Every day I'm fighting this principality. Like, how am I living my life and this all I'm doing is fighting? I'm crying. I'm crying and scrapping to get the basic necessities. I know people right now been on welfare for 20 years. On food stamps for 20 years. This great big old guy. And this is where you are for 20 years. Still begging and crying for food, clothing, and shelter. The basic thing. No transportation. The most basic things in this life you don't have. But you worried about homosexuality? All I'm saying is show me better, show me different. Show me your beautiful husband that's not cheating on you. Show me your beautiful baby daddy that's taking care of your children and you ain't crying and seeking God, wondering where your next meal coming from, needing a ride every day, needing food or groceries or needing rent paid or basic necessities. Just show me that. Show me that. Show me life is not a struggle for you. And then I might be like, oh, okay, I see. But I got people that telling my daughter she shouldn't be gay and they ain't got a man in their life. A man don't even like them at this point. They don't have a phone number for a man. They haven't even been loved by a man, never been married before. But yet here they are telling people who they can and can't marry or condemning them to hell. Well, shouldn't you be going there too? Because your love and your patience ain't showing it in the relationship manner. Where's your Adam to show all this Eve? That's where I am with it. Just show me the manifestation of it.
Wow, that was a lot.
Show me you are not struggling no more. Mentally, physically.
That was a lot. Y'all know how I don't subscribe. When I just said that, I really don't subscribe to today's God. That's what it is. I don't subscribe to today's God. Like, God is rich in houses and land, but I can't even, like, my truck
is rich in houses and land and still on welfare and Section 8. I got a truck
that's sitting outside, and it's sitting outside because I haven't went to get me a car or put the battery back in there. It'll run. It works. I just haven't did the things that I need to do it. And that's where, for me, when you think about families, right? I couldn't understand. I said this the other day. I can't understand how parents, how mothers, some fathers, but how mothers do everything they can to protect their child while they are on the inside, while they're growing,
Mm-hmm.
watching what they eat, watching where they go, watching what they intake, all who they be around, all of that. And then your baby come out and somebody say you're not supposed to love it because it's gay, or God hates
And then you
gays, or
listen
it's
to
an
that.
abomination, and then you listen to that, and then you like allow other people to treat your child wrong, or allow other people to say all manner of things to your child. And it's just like, for me, I don't get that. I don't understand how you want to do everything to protect your child until it comes out.
That make me think you didn't love that child to begin with.
That's where I'm saying
That's just
that's
it.
where I'm
Just
at.
because you could tell me a whole bunch of bad stuff about Jada, Junior, and Nasia. Those are my three children. Tell me all the bad things you want to tell me about them. I'm not going to walk away from them. I'm not going to stop loving them. I'm not going to disengage or be uninvolved or become unsupportive because you told me that one thing about somebody I carried and nurtured to this point in life. They just happen to be doing something that you don't like. Now I can't love them.
Yeah,
That
that's
would
enough
mean
for
that
me.
I didn't love them in the first place. I just don't think love cuts off that fast and that quick, that
Yeah.
easy.
See, and that's where I just be trying to figure out, like, okay, so like where there was the one young man where his, I think his brother or sister, somebody, they like beat him up and they like cut gay in his head, and did like I think they actually got charged for that. But for like to be in a household, like there's so many different people that use derogatory terms in a household. Like there's like, if my child never be gay, or my child won't be gay until they get up out of my house. I get all of that. I get it. Nobody wants their kids to be gay. As a gay woman, I totally understand it, because the world is harsh. The world is
The
harsh.
world is hard, but the world is
But at the
harsh and
same time,
contradictory.
yeah, but at the same time, there's so many people trying to be over here on this side, where it's just like, I don't even understand why you're doing all of that. Like a lot of these churches have these different uh this is how the churches run, and gays can't be in the choir, gays can't be in the
But
pulpit,
they
gays
do
can't,
be,
but they still be there. And then you have the pastor sleeping with the people in the church.
but that's
like
okay
like
because they're heterosexuals.
like this is the thing that I was going to say, right? Like this is one of the things that I want to say. I remember back when Bishop Eddie Long, he's no longer alive, but this is what I want to say. I remember when those young men came out and said, this is what happened to me, this is all they told, everything. And I watched as the church celebrated, and they even crowned this man and gave him some Dead Sea Scrolls. And I just thought, like, that is the most ridiculous shit ever. This man who was over this mega church, these young men was telling about, and then all people could focus on was, oh, they was taking the money, they was doing all this. And the fact of the matter was that the man over the church was the man who was doing the things to them. And it was just like, oh no, well, they touch not thy anointed and do thy prophet no harm.
That's the one thing about church. They gonna find a scripture to tailor it to their to make it okay for whatever it is they're doing. But you just got to go straight to him. You
That's
have to.
that's
You
why
do, but not them.
that's why when people be talking to me, again, people don't know where I come from or my upbringing or how I get down. When people be talking to me about homosexuality, and they always go straight to Sodom and Gomorrah, and I just be looking like, oh, we going here. And then the people
And
around me
can't
look
quote the
at me.
scriptures. That is so.
The people
Don't get
around
me
me look
started
at
in
me
church leaders
because
and can't quote
because they know
scripture.
it's about to go down. I'm not gonna say I like a debate, but I love a good debate. I love a good debate, and not like I'm defensive, but it's like, let's talk about it. You want to talk about Sodom and Gomorrah? Let's talk about it. And that's like the main thing that the church people, anybody, if you think about church and you think about homosexuality, they say it's an abomination. It's an abomination to have all these fucking seafood boys, but people still be doing mukbangs with them. It's an
Having all
abomination to
these
where
children out of wedlock not an abomination because my taxes going up and y'all steady on welfare. That is it bothers me.
Wearing polyester and silk together is an abomination. It's so many different.
Not mixed linens.
Wait, but this is a really crazy thing, because when I was younger, I always used to ask these questions and they couldn't answer them, so I just be like, it don't make sense to me. Because when you read the Holy Bible, the King James version, the King James who was gay but had, anyways, we ain't gonna even talk about that right now. But when you look at the King James version, they had it like everything that Jesus said was in red. It didn't say it like that, but it was basically like all the red text is what Jesus said. And I'm reading. I don't read from Genesis to Revelations back to Genesis. I don't read all the, and I was just looking like, well, Jesus never talked about homosexuality. Not one time, not ever. He never mentioned it ever. And then you say that to people and they be like, but he said it's abomination. Actually, it's never was in red that Jesus said it was abomination. It was other people that said, it's like, we don't like that. Let's just put that in the Bible because we don't like it. Because technically, women should not be in leadership over a man. Like women
but they
should
gonna
not
find a scripture to make sure that they are.
Women should not have any kind of leadership over a man. A man is always supposed to be the head. Like it's so many different things you could talk about, but I love when people talk to me about homosexuality and religion or God, because it's like, let's have a conversation. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Like if you know the scripture about Sodom and Gomorrah, it has nothing to do with homosexuality. They use it as fear.
That's the reason I can't talk about it, because
they use it as fear. They use it to fear, to get you to fear, to say, oh, if you do
1000% be wrong.
If you do it, God, that's why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. He turned Lot's wife into a pillar of salt. That's not why he did that. You got to go read it. That's not why he did it. I'm going to give y'all a short synopsis. 3 chapters before that, right? Abraham or God was like, I don't got to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. If you ever go and read about how many times God was like, fuck these humans I created. He was like, I'm sick of them. They are prideful. They do not take care of the widows and the children. They do not take care of the sick. I got to destroy them.
That's literally the church.
That's exactly what happened.
The church does not take care of widows.
Listen. That's exactly
or
what
the
happened.
Homeless, as we saw they died last year.
If you know they just passed a law that people sleeping outside can go to jail. Wait, y'all, we gonna talk about that in a minute. But so God was like, I gotta destroy it. Abraham, God right hand man, or actually I think Peter was right hand, so we're gonna put Abraham on the left. And so Abraham was like, no, God, don't destroy it, because my nephew Lot lived down there. And then God was like, hey, if you could find me 10,000, 100,000, he went all the way from like 100,000 all the way to like 10. And him and Abraham was back and forth, like, God, I could find 10. And then Abraham was like, nah, second thought, let me just get Lot and his family up out of there. And so then that's the whole reason. If you ever thought about why was the 2 men in Sodom and Gomorrah anyways, that's why they was there. Because God was like, you know what, Abraham, you my left hand man, so let me go ahead and let you get your people out, but they got to go. And told them, don't look back. And they went, and the people in the city was like, hey, we don't know y'all, where y'all come from. If you hanging around with a group of people and a new person show up, it's like, who is this person? We don't know you, where you come from, who they here with. And that's what they asked. And then he let them get them out. And then she, that was where she lived at her entire time, her entire life. She grew up there. Of course she gonna look back. What happened? She turned into a pillar of salt. But it wasn't because they was gay. Jesus don't even mention gay people in the Bible. There is no mention of gay people in the Bible unless somebody else is talking about it. There's no mention of it. And I'm saying that's
how I feel like I grew up in church, off of cliches and
people's opinions.
And opinions.
Yeah.
I don't think that everybody has to go to college, but don't be teaching me nothing and you don't even have a high school diploma.
You have no education.
I remember being in church and visiting churches, even in my 20s and my 30s when I started visiting churches, and people was just like, God called me and I dropped out of school in 8th grade so God could call me. Now let's think about that. Let's think about God telling you, your mama, to get you to drop out of school so that you can pastor. So that means that's it for your life. You. Most people want a high school diploma or some type of, but you have an eighth grade or ninth grade or whatever grade you decide to drop out of school and lead God's people. You have just that amount of education, which we all know that the United States education is nothing but memory. We know that it's nothing but memory, nothing on memory, and you just want this person to lead you to these big old pearly gates, to this huge, immortal, omnipresent, omnipotent being, entity, and this person ain't been past 10th grade. That's just me. That's, y'all know I'm Scientology, just thinking about it scientifically and logically. Logically, in your life right now, if somebody came up to you and said, I don't have a high school diploma, however, I want to take you to this land of milk and honey. It's the promised land. I can take you there. And they walk in to tell you this. They don't have a house themselves. They don't own anything
What's
themselves.
the really sad thing is?
What?
People will actually go.
I know. That's how churches became.
People
That's literally how churches became. And as you notice, it's always full of a bunch of women who are emotional or single or lonely, and or people that are seeking something greater. They seeking something, but they don't know what they seeking. And they feel like they trying to fill a void. That's how I feel.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I was on TikTok. Let me tell you, if I didn't reverence the universe, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever you call it, if I didn't reverence them as being who they were, I would be on TikTok right now. I would be getting so much money. I be watching these prophets and apostles and all these different people on TikTok, and people will literally be given to them. And all they be doing is just saying like the most random
general, like astrology type things.
I look at the tarot readers, and this is no knock to anybody, but I just be looking like, man, people be on search of especially since we've been in the pandemic, people be in search of things. That's why I feel like if people home lives, and this is not even just for the LGBT community, this is for people in general. If people home lives, if people saw their mother and father hug or kiss, or like
if the home life was fulfilling, like
if it was that, then it wouldn't be as much as insecurity, it wouldn't be as much domestic violence, it wouldn't be. And people like, you can't say that. Yes, I can, because think about it, right? If you come from a loving, happy home, you will understand what it means to be loved. You wouldn't just accept somebody who cheating on you, driving your car while you at work with their new boo or their baby mama or they whoever it is, and then you fighting back and forth. It wouldn't be fights. You would just be like, oh, I'm good over here. You go over there and do what you do. Like, you will understand. Like, you don't have to accept that.
It's the looking for love outside. That's in here. That's what I think. You looking for love outside, and it's here.
That's the thing where I wish. Here. That's where I discovered on my journey of healing and self-discovery that the very person I was looking to love me was me. But when you're growing up, you're taught to like pay attention to your grandma, pay attention to your mama, pay attention to everybody else. You're not taught to actually love yourself. It's like everybody just know you should love yourself, but nobody actually teaches you how to love yourself. Like, this is something I real life just learned. Like, okay, I got a car. Everybody calling me, hey, come, let's run around. Let's do this. And I'm tired. But instead of me sitting down like, no, I'm not tired, I'm trying to get you all the way over to the south side to make sure we can catch Walmart before it closes. But I'm tired. You ain't going to give me no gas money. You ain't going to give me no gas money. And so now I done made it all the way over to Walmart and back, but I still got to make it to work for the rest of the week. It's just me thinking about me. That was me thinking about me and putting myself first. And then I was just like, man, they don't teach you how to love yourself. They teach you how to love everybody else and put everybody else before your own. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you how to love yourself. They don't teach you, like, this is the most I've ever heard self-care ever. Most people be thinking, oh, I need to do retail therapy. I'm going to go get my feet done, my nails done. I go get a massage. But retail or self-care is far deeper than just all of that.
Yeah, it's being able to control your emotions.
That emotional intelligence. Control your emotions. That's what it is. Emotional intelligence.
And your mind. It's being able to be disciplined. And that's one thing that I didn't see a lot. Well, when I got in my 30s and I started going to different churches in my early 30s and late 20s, I think that's where I saw more Black women taking more care of themselves and looking like, I get the saying that people love to say I don't look like what I'm going through, but you do with 3 children on your hips. You do look like what you're going through. 3 bastard babies on your. I even miss myself. If I was a teenager in church running around saying I don't look like what I'm going through, or a young adult, I got 3 children, no other help but me. I'm making it all happen. You do look like what you're going through. I'm here to tell you that. You do when you fighting the devil all day. You do look. Why wouldn't you look like what you're going through? You fighting Lucifer. You're going to look bad. And it shows. It shows in weight. It shows in your credit score. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but it shows in who you are and what you have. I wish that I could say I grew up around a lot of admirable women that were in church, and it made me say, go to church, Erie. I didn't grow up around a bunch of women that was loving or wanted to be loved. All they needed was King Jesus. I didn't grow up around a bunch of women who were, let me drop a couple of pearls in your life and guide you through this. They were mean and tired of living, and I get that. Fighting the devil. They're fighting the devil every day. They don't have time to be living epistles for us young women that was coming up behind them. They fighting the devil. They trying to stay safe, trying to make sure they skirts is long enough, hats is right. Nobody was catering to my emotions. I shouldn't say nobody. It was one woman, and she definitely did her best. But even looking at her life, it was definitely problems. It wasn't something where I say I gotta grow up and be like these women. They in church, they got God, and look how their lives are. They're being loved properly. They love themselves. I never saw that. Never. I didn't start seeing that until honestly till I left the church. Because even the churches that I was visiting, those women were still getting their head. I just went to a church conference where the lady told me the man that God sent her shot her in her head. This the one that God sent her, shot her in her head. So again,
I can't
still ain't seeing women that are being properly loved. I'm still not seeing that for you to be worried about what everybody else doing.
It's a no for me.
Yeah, but now listen, I'm still surprised that abuse is real. Now I'm not making light of abuse because I done been turned every which way but loose before by a man. So I'm definitely not making light of domestic violence, but I'm just feeling like all this power, this Holy Ghost power, this whatever it is, this omnipotent power that you have, yet and still you being beat on by said man or being mistreated. It was no love and self-care when I was growing up. Even if they didn't say the word, now that I know what it is, you don't have to say the word. I get that it wasn't prevalent back then, but wasn't nobody loving themselves.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't no loving yourself. It was always sad and it was just a lot.
Even when you think about the people that was getting married, a lot of people was getting married so they wouldn't go to hell. Because they couldn't contain their flesh.
That's what I'm saying. I never saw wholeness. They couldn't contain their flesh. Like, I never saw wholeness.
You didn't really see like that's why I was so grateful that I grew up in the family that I grew up in, because they love. When I say love, they love. My grandmother loved. My uncles and them was about that life, and they loved and they respected and they appreciated. And so I told y'all the story when I was when I started to go. The reason why I started to go to therapy. I didn't tell my uncle. He just knew that I was going to therapy, but I didn't tell him. And it wasn't until Juiceman passed how many years ago?
I think 3. I saw somebody.
It wasn't until
I saw 3. Somebody say it's probably been
3 maybe 4 years that he passed, where I actually said out loud, like it was the pastor of the cult or the leader of the cult, whatever you want to call it, that molested me and did a lot of things to me. And people were looking at me like, wait, what? You said what? Who did what? And it wasn't, that was the first time I had spoken out loud, because I wouldn't even say the person's name. I'm not intentionally not saying his name. Now I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't say his name. I wouldn't even mention him. I wouldn't go down the street where the cult was. I wouldn't do any of those things. But I'm 4 years into a journey of healing and self discovery, and I realized how much that affected everything that I did in my life. At first, I was just like, no, it ain't bothering me because, I threw it in the back of my head and I was cool. But then I started to realize how much it affected me. Like, somebody was even like, oh, you only gay because you got molested. I was like, wait, that's no knock to anybody who feel like they gay because they got molested, because they got molested. But I was gay before I had got molested. That just like solidified some things for me. It solidified some things for me. But other than that, no, I was definitely gay.
When did you know you were gay though?
Because
I figured you always have been.
I knew
at least when we got into our teenage years, I said, yeah, gay.
I knew. So listen, right? Like, I knew that I was gay for for forever, but I never liked anybody that I hung around with or grew up with because I don't know, I was different. I still went on dates with guys. I still went to the movies. I did all of the typical young people things, but it was a certain caliber of. It always be a certain caliber of person that I like. I can't just like average or anybody. It has to be a certain caliber. The last person I dated was a certain caliber.
What's the caliber? I don't want to get off subject, but
no, it's someone who's secure, someone who's into me, secure, into me, can stand on their own. That's standing on their own. Somebody that can, somebody
look, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but listen to about insecurities. I think everybody has something that they're insecure about.
Yeah, okay, so I will say that, like, everybody do, but y'all know what the insecurities I'm talking about. The checking the phones, the social media.
Okay.
I don't know if that's
abuse.
I don't know if we should change that to something else, but it's that for me. I need you to be. I don't want to be somebody that's secure. Like, people who know.
I think that's possessiveness.
Like, people who know that I'm popping.
I'm MKE. Okay.
People who know that I'm popping and they won't feel some kind of way or try to get me to diminish that, but be like, oh, I'm a pop with you. Like, you got this, I got this, together we the awesome and power couple. We gonna do this. That's where I'm at in my life. I'm not gonna dim my light to make other people feel better in complacency. I want you to, like, either come up or be up there, and I could just, grow. Like, that's where I'm at in my life. Like, those are the caliber of people. Like, I've never, as I think about it, I don't think I've ever dated or hung out with or anything like that, because anybody, I could show y'all a list of photos of people that I kicked it with or stuff like that. Y'all see, like, it's a certain caliber of people.
Not a list.
I'm 44 years old. It's definitely a list.
And I'm just out here thinking you innocent. What?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not, look at me, this is what I'm doing. I'm one of those people that's like, if you see me and you see me, you just see me. Other than that, you ain't gonna know. That's just who I am. That's always who I've been. I never was one like, hey, look at me, this is what I'm doing. No, that's funny because I'm all over the news and stuff right now. But hey.
But it's not. It's humility with it though.
Yeah.
It's humility with it. I don't think it's more so, hey, I'm gay and I'm also doing this. I think it's, hey, I had a long journey and here I am. Yeah. That's what I think it is. It comes with humility. So I don't take it as such. Yeah, and the world better not either.
This is where I'm at. No, so that's why I feel like having conversations. Like, I talk to my brothers and it was weird. It wasn't like a bad weird. It was weird because they felt like they had to protect me. And I get it. But at the same time, I was like, but you don't have to. Like, I'm the oldest. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to protect me. People gonna say what they want to say because people. That's what people do. People find out people gay. They got something to say all the time. And then, like she just mentioned a couple of times, like you ain't had nobody in 20 years. I don't have three, four. Anyways, but for me, it's just like I was telling my brothers, like you don't have to protect me. You just I know you love me,
But that's
so
nice
that's
that they
cool.
want to
No,
protect you
yeah, so
because they
no,
could be
yeah,
against you.
so that's why for me it was like I get it. I understand, y'all, I get it. But at the same time, I can protect myself. They don't bother me.
I mean, I also feel like people that are of the LGBT community you know what it is. You, I get that you might not want scrutiny. I get that you may not want the light shined on you.
I
I
already
get
know.
that you may not want to be put in certain situations, but it's going to happen
Yeah, I already
because you're
know.
a popular. And when I say popular, I mean I know gay been gay for a long time. People have been gay for years, but it just seemed like it's so popular right now. So
Yeah,
if you come out saying you gay right now between I would say between 2015 and now, it just became very like a trend almost. That's why
yeah,
I say sometimes it may just be people trying some, experience some, being
experimenting.
yeah, not just really saying, hey, this is where I want to be in my life, but because people know it's popular, I think that's another reason why they say it. I would love to go in a hotel and just say, I'm gay, just so I can be treated because they know they don't. Because if you say something bad about people of the LGBTQ, you are going to be canceled. You are going to be shunned and ostracized. That's just how it is. And I see how much support, I shouldn't say support, I see how people, the LGBTQ community comes together to say,
Is that
excuse me, I know this person and that ain't how it's going to go. So I would want to be a part of that.
is that? But see, that's where for me it's like if more people, like if more families stood up for like the people um that identify as LGBT, I really feel like there wouldn't be as much, like if more men felt comfortable in accepting who they are, or like they didn't fear other men talking about them, or see that's the thing for me, like there's so many in the last couple of years, there's been so many unalivings of transgender people by men who clearly enjoy being with transgenders, but they are afraid of other people finding out that they've been, or that that's something that they
Yeah.
do. So for me, if more people had conversations about it, or maybe more people talk about it, actually, as a matter of fact, there is a young artist. His name is JP. He actually is from here, and so there was a whole incident where it was leaked. Somebody leaked that he was with a young man a couple of years
Oof,
ago.
don't use the word leaked and all that in the same sentence. But I hear you.
So it was set. It was That's what it was. It was leaked. It was
Yeah.
allegedly leaked. So but all his friends stood up for him. Was like, we been knew that. So and I was just like, that's the dopest shit
We've been
ever.
his friends.
If majority of people would be like, so what you gonna say after so your baby daddy is a bum. So what you gonna say after that?
Ain't nobody help you take care of the kids.
Ain't nothing
So
else gonna happen after that. You ain't gonna. What's the
right,
conversation gonna be? And if more like parents be like, so and
I feel like if black parents were like, so yeah, that's my daughter, and instead of jumping on the bandwagon, now you know she thinks she, or you know she going through that phase. I feel like parents be ready to more so gossip
yeah,
about the wrongdoings of their children than to uplift them. I'm gonna say personally, my the person that carried me in their womb would be more inclined to bash myself or my children for anything bad that they did before she uplifts them. And I think that's more of a church thing. I think that's more of a find the bad thing or find something that you can be judgmental about to put yourself on top again, to put yourself in heaven so that people are beneath you and you put them in hell. That's where I feel like hers come from, and actually where most church people come from. Because once they tell you going to hell, they already feel like they're above you.
Yeah,
well above you.
I ain't putting nobody in heaven or hell. I'm gonna put you in love. That's where I'm gonna put you at. In
Yeah.
love.
And I don't the one thing that you probably could educate me about. Here's what I think. I love it. I love LGBTQ if that's it. But to support it, I can't give you money for your sex change. And it's not because I don't support your LGBTQ or whatever you want to be. It's because I don't have it.
You know, I'm not giving people money
but
for that.
I don't get where I guess it's gonna be a fine line between loving and supporting. And I think that's where people get it mixed up at. So I can love you. I do love you. I love my daughter. I do support her financially and the things that she want to do, concerts. Or if she want to go take her girl on a date and she don't have no money, I'm going to give it to her. That's where my love is. It's not me supporting her being gay, because it doesn't make me any difference at this time right now. Now the conversation may change later, but right now she's 20 years old. The conversation is you needed some money to go somewhere. It's not me. Let me give you some money to support your homosexuality. This is me, a mother, saying I love you. All you need is some money. See, that's it.
That's where, for me, that's where it's like, it shouldn't be like, oh, this is my gay child. Let me. But it should be that. It's still your child, regardless of what, if they was out here knocking back, it's still your child. If you were a grandparent it's still your child. Like, that's my whole thing that I be trying to get people to see. Like, it's still your child. At the end of the day, it don't matter if that, none of that matters. I support how I can support. I'd be an advocate. I'm not like giving money towards people's sex changers or anything like that, because I think that there needs to be an extensive
conversation.
There needs to be an extensive conversation, not even
diary writing.
Like, there needs to be to be like therapy. There needs to be some, because for me, that's like taking that's going another. That's another step. That's going further than, either I am educated on. That's going further. So for me, I just would want to say, because for me, I say therapy because you are changing your overall like being.
Well, that's recommended anytime you have surgery. Yeah. So I agree with that logically and sensibly. Anytime you have a surgery that's going to change your life, change your body mass, anything like that, anything that's going to change who you are, therapy is recommended, hands down, by the doctor. You are prescribed. I was prescribed therapy when you think about having any cosmetic surgery done. You're going to be prescribed therapy. I work with women who had the gastro surgery. They had to go through 3 weeks of therapy before, and then afterwards, they also had to commit to long-term therapy because the mind needs to process the sudden change. I think what it is that people are uneducated and also just not intelligent. And I'm not trying to be mean, but most people that are in church, and these are my people that I consider my friends that I still talk to today, they just not as logical or have as much as intelligence. That's just, to me, it's always Jesus, 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 but they don't have a way to answer a question. You answering questions with scriptures that are dated AD or BC for things that are happening right now in 2024, and I just don't feel like it. It just ain't weighing out.
Yeah, so that's why I like. I welcome all conversations, especially when it has to do with God and the LGBT.
I don't.
I do, and I'm gonna tell you why.
And if anybody find me and want to talk about it, I don't. I don't know how to have intelligent conversations with Christians because I expect all that power they have to just be that. So listen, give me some money, all that power.
So listen, I definitely have these conversations mainly because there was a religious group called Exodus International, and I talked about this before on my YouTube. But there was a religious group, Exodus International. They were telling parents and they was telling kids and they was telling people, oh, God, send them to our camps and send them to our conferences. God is going to deliver your child. Pay this amount of money. They was doing shock therapy. They was doing all kinds of stuff to tell people that people would no
grape therapy.
Great. There you go. They was telling these people that God was gonna deliver their kids, and they was gonna, God was gonna change them. They was gonna be okay. And so people were sending their kids, and people were going to these conferences, and they weren't being delivered, and they weren't being healed. And that's not to say that God can't. I'm just saying what was actually happening. And then a couple of years ago, the people that was actually over it came out and was like, they were gay, that for a large majority of the time, that they were telling them people that God was going to deliver them. And so then they had, it's God and the Gays. If you on YouTube, it's God and the Gays. It's by Lisa Ling, and it was on Oprah. It was on the OWN network. And so she, I guess, got the people that was over Exodus International and found some of the people that went to Exodus International, and they set them all in a room. And the guy was like, "Hey, I want to apologize." And the one thing that struck me, it was so many different people that was there that they struck me, but it was the one thing that really struck me was a young man said him and his friend went to the conferences. They went to the camps, and his friend, he said they both started doing, taking illicit stuff because they felt like God didn't love them because he didn't deliver them. And so his friend
taking illicit stuff. What you mean? Oh, okay.
So yeah. So
I get you.
So his friend passed away due to and so when the man said what he said, the guy just broke down. He was like, "Are you effing kidding me?" He's like, "You guys were like telling us this, and like you were so confident and so sure." And he was like, "My friend." He's like, "Yeah, me, but my friend. My friend thought that God didn't love him." And that was the whole theme of it, was like people felt like God didn't love them because he didn't change them, and that God didn't care for them because they were still having the same feelings. And that's why for me it's just like, I talk about Exodus International because a lot of times people say you need to get delivered or you need to do this. And then there are people who say that they are delivered and that God did change them. And I'm not saying that God didn't or he couldn't. What I'm saying is that's a dangerous conversation to be out here having with people. Because if you say that God delivered you and this person wants to be delivered, but they never get delivered, now they feeling like something is wrong with them because God didn't take those things away from them. Those are dangerous conversations. I try to stay away from them, but I do provide that so you can go and Google. Like there was a major, like they was huge. There was huge. There was doing transformative therapy, whatever. It was a lot of therapies they was trying to convince. Conversion therapy. Yeah, they was telling them people like, "No, you're not really gay. You just think that you are. You don't really like." And then they were shocking them with the silver things. I was watching. Listen, I watched all this. It's on YouTube. Go look it up. It's on YouTube. But for me, it's just like that's where there needs to have a line drawn. There's like more people needs to educate themselves on the LGBTQI plus A community rather than just like, "Oh no, I don't want to do that. You're gonna give me a gay church. Y'all trying to indoctrinate people, all of these different things," instead of just being like, "Okay, cool." Cause like I talked to someone and they were like, "None of my fucking kids are gonna be gay." And I just looked at them and I was like,
and that's why they gonna be.
Little do you know they
just
already
to get on your nerve. That's why you don't make certain statements around children. Are. Even if it's real or fake, children are there to test you. That's pretty much it.
They already are. And it just the conversation, it just like real life people, like because I'm gay, maybe I don't know, but because I'm gay, people be having these conversations with me, and then when they find, like, I don't be like I said, I don't lead with, "Hey, I'm gay," but a lot of people be having these conversations with me, and I just be looking at them, and of course, I love a good debate, so I be talking, and then they just look at me like, "What, you gay or something?" Yes, I actually.
Wait a minute, people don't not. Who don't think you gay?
A lot of people.
You look gay.
A lot of people don't think I'm gay. What does gay look like?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying I got a problem. I guess it, and that's you, Chelle. Didn't I tell you? You look.
A lot of people don't believe that I'm gay, especially a lot of men.
And they don't figure it out till Congress. Is it because of your big booty?
They never figure it out. I don't care how many times I say that I love women. It's a no for me. I love women. I'm be a friend. I'm good on friends. I got enough friends. Well, I'm just saying, it's like there's never a stop point for people. Like, there's never a stop point. Especially if a guy, he really in his mind, he think like, oh,
Gotta have it.
I could change, and I just be looking like, sir, if I ain't changed in 44 years, ain't nothing you can
I
do.
can tell them now. This girl been on the gay train.
It's a no. I got a permanent membership over here. I mean,
Man.
come on. And it's not even, I'm not even making light of it, but it's just like, God, like people really be thinking in their mind, like, oh, I'm going to put this on you and you going to change. No, sir.
And if that happened, that meant to me, you wasn't gay. That one experience, it changed your life, and all of a sudden, I would just be like, that's something you wanted deep down inside, and you did a good job of hiding it. One experience from one random man who got a high school diploma and just wham, now you said I'm not gay. I would be like, Shells, you know what? You wasn't gay to begin with.
Yeah, no.
Because a couple penetrations, and then think about it. They got heart problems. At this age, look how bad we eat. These men can't last that long, and all of a sudden you're straight.
No. That's what I'm saying.
That's the same thing I feel for gay. You're not going to have an experience and be like, yep, that's it, now I'm gay. I think those are things that already have to be in you. It just got, and now something or someone has cultivated it or replenished or made it so or helped manifest it for you. I just don't think you just wake up and be like, this me.
No, that's why I say.
I saw a vagina today. I want them. I want all of them. I don't think that. But also, I'm not gay, so I don't know.
No, but it's not. That's why I was trying to express to people. Just like heterosexual people have types, we have types.
So I did learn that from you. Remember we had this conversation? I just thought y'all like everybody.
No.
But that was when I was, I didn't know no better. We was younger. And I'm just like, well, you don't like her? You don't like her? What's wrong with her? I don't like those
y'all
women.
See, I use the word caliber.
I didn't know that. I just thought, even with men, I'd be like, well, he gay and he gay. They should just be together. I never thought that y'all was coming with being an onion, having layers and types and qualities and characteristics. I just thought gay, that's what they want. I know that sounds very naive of me, but again, I'm not in that. I was younger, and I wasn't until I met you when I was like, wait, you don't like her? You don't like her? And you was just like, ugh, no, bleh, ugh. I'm just like, what, they ladies? I'm just thinking you like ladies until you educated me and told me people have types, Erie. Every gay woman out here don't want you. And I feel like that's where people get it mixed up at. They might not hang with you no more because they probably think you want them. Am I talking to him? Oh,
yeah, that's his dad. Yeah, I was trying to express that, and then people, like, especially people I grew up around, just the fact that
I bet they probably be like, wait a minute, she been gay all this time and she didn't want me. Now I do have a friend that I thought that about, because I'm just like, wait a minute, you didn't choose me. But that's just being vain.
Yeah,
that's being
that's
vain.
Exactly what
that's being seriously vain, because exactly if somebody your friend, that doesn't change your friendship with them because because they gay.
That's how I look at it. Like, I just be looking like, I don't know, I'm so, my brain, I'm on a whole nother wavelength from a lot of people, because a lot of stuff that other people be doing, I just be looking like, that ain't never been me. Like, when
you just not one of them.
When you said something the other day, I was like, that is not me. That ain't never been me. I'm not gonna get to 44 and start doing. It's a no. It's a no. No, I like who I've become. I like who I am. So I'm just gonna keep on down the path. And but I truly feel like families, parents especially, should support. If you take
I really think they don't know how, because they've been so trained not to. Remember back in the day, black women were more inclined to beat their children in public because they had a fan base. That's right, you ought to whoop that tail, and that's like, you got some people cheering you on to beat your child. That's why, and that's the same. It's still the same thing. You get somebody that say, girl, your child gay, you ought to, and all of a sudden now your parent, now your cousin, everybody on that team, because they don't like this one thing about you. Now you still this same loving, kind-hearted individual, get your shirt off your back to people, but because you gay, you've totally changed, and they can't be around you no more. They have to separate themselves. I say.
Like,
that's the sad part.
I'm the same person.
You're the same.
That's just like anybody that has chosen not to be around me. I just think like I've been the same person as I've always been. I look the same. I'm still the same.
You do.
Everything is the
same. Your wavelength, your monotone,
everything is the
your
same.
calamity, your tranquility.
I don't get hype about is the same. So
that is annoying. That's coming from anybody. That is annoying. You know why? Because you can't. I can't cater to somebody's emotions that are always that way. You know what I mean? That's a good thing about you, but also it's a mysterious thing about you because nobody know what mood you're in because you always just whatever. It's water off a camel's back for you. And sometimes people be looking for, here's what I'll say, and I don't mean this with no disrespect. Sometimes when people have monotone personalities and always tranquil and calm, they are passionless to me. So when you just said you like to debate, it's hard for me to see you in a debate because I don't ever see passion. I always see, if that's what it is, that's what you always let people have their way, their opinion, and you be good. You're not out here trying to change nobody's thought process, trying to change their journey or nothing. But also it would seem like you don't have no passion. Like if me and you was in a relationship, let's just say that. Say we're in a relationship and I say, Shells, I'm tired, I'm leaving. In my mind, I know you gonna be like, well, if that's what's best for you. And then and on the other part of me, I'm like, this heifer ain't got no passion for what we got going on. Don't you wanna fight for me, get on your knees or say something, write me a poem or something? But nope, you would just say, well, if that's what's best for you, go and do it.
And you know what's the really crazy thing is, because I feel like this is what I feel if you're listening. This is what I feel. I feel like at a certain point in your life, I'm extremely passionate. I'm extremely passionate. I love to debate. I'm all of those things. It's just I'm not about to be going above and beyond for people. I'm not about to do that. I realized this last relationship, I dimmed my light. I did a lot of stuff that I said I wish a motherfucker would, and motherfuckers did. They was wouldn't.
And they was motherfucker did.
And I was just looking like, yeah, it's a no. I'm not doing that no more. I know what I want. I've always known what I want, and I just was like, you know what? Let me just jump off the porch a little bit and just live life on. And then it's like, oh, I learned. My ass back up on that porch. Not really. I'm still outside. Not outside like that, but yeah, I just realized like I can't be that same person. I'm still that person, but I'm not gonna be that same person with everybody. You only gonna get so far. You only gonna get so much because people, it's evil people out here. I'm not evil. I don't have evil intentions or anything, but it's really evil people out here, and they will run over you if you let them.
So do you feel like you were ostracized more when you got married versus just walking around saying you gay, and then you get married? Now that's kind of like solidifying it because now you married and bonded to a woman. Now your name is attached to a woman, and everything you do when you get married, your name is attached to this person. So do you think they stopped talking to me a little bit because I've been saying I'm gay, but now that I'm married to a woman, they hate me now. Like the whole ostracized.
Let me tell you something, right? Again, my brain be working differently, right? It was so many people talking to me when I was in a relationship, and I couldn't figure it out why they would stop talking to me when I was in a relationship. But the second that they found out that I was no longer in a relationship, best of friends. Just everything is just peachy keen.
Sound like I don't know. That happened real lickety split. Yeah, me. Sound real lickety split.
I would just say this, right? A lot of people will say they feel a certain kind of way about homosexuality, or they feel a certain way about people. But again, curiosity be getting the best of a lot of people. So a lot of people just, I'm not saying that everybody around me is gay, but it's a lot of people that's gay around me or have homosexual thoughts. And like, if I could get away with it, I would do it. And so I'm like, if you put anybody in a room and told them that nobody would know what's going on, a lot of people would do a lot of things.
I totally agree. Even outside of sex. I mean, I would.
A lot of people would
if
do
somebody
a lot of
put
things.
me in a room and said nobody gonna know you ate this hog-head cheese, I'm gonna fuck that hog. I don't want people knowing I've been eating hog-head cheese though. That's ghetto. That's so big. No, honey, I'm on to. First of all, I grew up. I'm on to Ruffles chips with it now. Ooh. Oh my God, I don't need people knowing I eat that. You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of stuff you can put somebody in a room and say it's not. So nobody gonna know.
That's why. That's why I say. So that's why I don't listen. When you travel around the world for 44 years, you learn a lot about people. A lot about people. Some of the same people that's calling you gay and calling you the derogatory terms. If you was in a room with them, it'd be different. So that's why I don't be looking at people. I light, love, and positivity is what I am. That's what I strive to be. That's what I literally am every day.
You are. I agree. I'm not saying this because you're my sister. You are light and love and positivity.
Yeah,
there are even as much as I know and love you, I can tell you anything. It's just certain things I wouldn't tell you because you're light and love and positivity, and I know that I'm not. I got light and dark and love and hate and positivity and negativity. I'm dealing with 6 characteristics. I got all the 3 that you have. No one ever make me believe that I'm not light, love, and positivity. But between those things, I am dark, hate, and negativity. I'm gonna let you know. And I'm gonna be that towards you physically.
So listen, right? I light, love, and positivity, but I guarantee you, if you push me to that spot, you definitely gonna see those other sides. And then I'm gonna just let you know, like it ain't gonna be pretty. It's not pretty. That's why I choose to walk in light, love, and positivity. Because I'm the type of person, I'm the Lord, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever you believe in, tremendously blessed me. I got an overwhelming blessing when it comes to communication and using words. I can say words to you that you don't even think about at the time that I'm saying it to them. You're gonna go home and replay them in your head, and they will be stuck there.
Yeah, totally. I agree.
They will be stuck
phrases,
there.
Words. And I'm also a word freak. Like I'm a word connoisseur. I read the dictionary.
Ever live there? Look, encyclopedias.
I enjoy looking at a thesaurus to make sure I can use this word in a different term. Oh, I love it.
Listen.
Yeah,
you will definitely remember the words that I say to you, but that's be understanding that I'm gifted in communication. I be really mindful with the things that I say to people because I never want my words to be hurtful. I never want them. That's why I be real mindful. I was telling you, I understood what it means when they say, if you don't have anything good at all, don't say anything.
I don't know why not. People say things to hurt people. If you in a tug of war with somebody, this is what it is. There's no fighting below the belt. I'm taking the belt off and whooping you.
There is no belt.
Ain't no belt. There's no clean fight. There's no jump. You can't jump her. If it's 2 of us and it's one of you, and your problem is with me, now you got a problem with both of us. That's just how I feel.
I mean, that's.
But I do love that you're a loving individual, especially that you are a forerunner for the LGBTQ plus community, because your personality and your characteristics are needed. I know that people are probably verbally abused all the time after they come out, or even before they come out. If somebody suspects you gay, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. So I just want to say that I like that you're a forerunner. I like that you're not ashamed of it. I like that you still always look for support and support them openly, versus, hey, I just wanted to let you know you're doing a good job, but since you're gay, I don't want people to know. You are very open about supporting the gay community and whoever they are. That's what I like about you. I appreciate that about you, because a lot of people might support them or might love them, but they ain't gonna say it out loud. Yeah. They can't say it out loud. They can't do nothing for them. They never even mention them. So I appreciate you. You mention them. You mention the community all the time, and then you've created your own community. So I appreciate that about you. I wish the best for y'all community, especially with you as the forerunner. Because you making it happen. I mean, I'm saying this because I see it face to face.
Yeah.
People can tell me what they're doing for the LGBT community around the world, but I may not see it. What I'm saying is, I see this direct inform for you. You always trying to look out for the LGBT community. You educate yourself and you try to educate others. Ain't there's no way that me and you've ever had a conversation about homosexuality and you let me walk away thinking that my stereotype was real. So that's what I appreciate about you. You got it. Get me on my stereotypes. Educate us on, where we should be and how we should help our children, our families, and you try to create unity and togetherness. That I appreciate, and I hope that LGBTQ plus community appreciates that about you too.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I was about to say I made it through this whole thing without a tear, and now look at me.
But you
Jesus
doing a
Christ.
good job. You so open about it, especially coming from where you came from. You could just be like, man, people hate me that I'm gay, so I'm just gonna keep quiet and be gay. Not saying you're gonna change, but you didn't keep quiet, and I appreciate that. You grabbed a flag, a rainbow flag, and kept going with it. I like that about you. I appreciate that about you.
That's hilarious. It's the purple for me.
But it's the purple for me. It's too many colors for me.
It's the purple for me. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation. I thought it was pretty dope. I'm gonna have more guests. I'm gonna invite more people to be a part of it.
You're gonna have to invite somebody gay.
You could probably be a part of it. This is what I'm saying. I would love to have a conversation with someone who's gay. What I'm gonna do is start promoting it more on my social media so that people can come. A lot of people be here, they just don't say, like, they don't comment in the chat, but a lot of people watch, and I know a lot of people watch because somebody will send me an inbox and be like, "Thank you for having that conversation," and I'm cool with it. It's just, I be wanting more people to talk, but this is why I have the nurture
The one type of
conversation.
person I do want to see on your show, this is my suggestion. I want to see someone that's probably, I want to say 50, but if you could find 55 and older, I want to hear their take on homosexuality or their take on LGBTQ, like where they came from. Because if they're in their 50s, that means they was born in what? The 70s?
Mid-70s,
Okay,
70s.
maybe somebody maybe a little bit older, but I want to know what their take was back then.
If I can find somebody.
I want to know how they was coming out or what was people saying about them.
Because so like that, we just celebrated Stonewall last year or a couple of years ago, and that was where they had like clubs, and they had like gay clubs, but it was like behind another club, and like they couldn't have gay clubs, like it was illegal to have gay clubs. It was illegal to be like outwardly gay.
Yes, they was going to jail.
Yeah, so that's
why I want you to have somebody on here.
I'm gonna find some. Yeah, we're gonna find some.
Are there any older gay? Is the word gay? Are there any older homosexuals that want to come on this show and tell us about your experience? Because I'm interested in knowing. I'm really interested in hearing the jargon that might have been used, how you came out, and I also want to know because that would mean your parents were older. So I want to know how your parents handled it. Were they mean about? Because actually, I'm hearing that some parents weren't. Some parents were like me. They weren't as mean as some LGBT community people are feeling. They ain't getting a blunt. Some people had nice parents, but they did ask them to keep it on the low. So that's what I'm wondering. I want to see some people that come from an older era. Yeah.
If you
help
out there,
us out. If you out there, you old and gay,
slide in.
Not
her, not me either. But I mean, just slide into the messages. The seat.
Do that. I want my daughter to see it as well. I want some younger people to see how hard other people might have had it, or maybe how easy they might have had it coming out.
Or the transitions of it.
Or how they feel about now. You see it on TV, you would have never saw that.
Never. So, those are conversations we would love.
I want to know.
And I say that because I can only tell you from my perspective, like someone who grew up in church and was like, or not church, the cult. I say church because a lot of people, it's a different leadership now. So try to be respectful of the new leadership. It's the same church, but it's a new leadership. So
sweet.
It's the same church, but it's new leadership. So I try to say church, but it's still a cult to me. It was a cult when I grew up in it. It was a cult when I do it.
Isn't cult acting like, dressing like, talking like? What is cult? I guess I probably should have asked that earlier, but I get what I know what a cult is. I was asking for the the definition, the real term, real definition. But I get what you're saying.
Um, yeah, and I'm gonna give you the TED talk of the lady who got male and female parts.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so.
I think I just saw her today.
So you guys know I'm actually dropping in the chat. It's called intersex.
So now we don't say hermaphrodite; they're called intersex. Intersex.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's so many different things now.
Well, I will say that is one thing that I don't like about the LGBTQ community. That I have to keep up with so many phrases of what to say and what not to say. That's another reason why I don't speak on it a lot, because I'm not versed in the language. I'm not versed in that jargon where I might not say something offensive. One, I talk a lot. It's just going to come out. But in no way, shape, or form am I disrespectful. Like you don't have, I just don't know.
It's not. Your intentions are not.
Yeah, and when they say you don't know better, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know better. I feel like the jargon change every day. Every day. The only jargon that never changes is the NIGGA word. Everybody use it, and we know what the term is derived from. We know that never changes. The pain of it being called it by somebody else that's not, that never changes. But the LGBTQ plus community is always something added. So I feel like if we're going to support them, we're going to have to keep up. We're going to have to continue to be educated. Yeah. It's constant, nonstop, or keep your mouth off of them. And that's what I do, because I don't know.
Mind your business and drink your water.
That's how I do. Because I don't know what to call them.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Now, what's the B for? Binary?
Binary.
LGB.
Bisexual?
Bisexual. Okay. Okay. Q for queer, live. Yay. Okay. See?
Don't worry.
I should have wrote it.
We'll go. Here, I'm going to send you. I'll send you infographic.
Next time I have to wrote it on my hand. The LGBTQ.
I'm going to send you an infographic about it. Okay, so I got 2 more questions. This has been a great conversation. I got 2 more questions. What advice would you give to other parents who are finding it difficult to accept that their children are identify?
Now, when you say children, what's the children? What's the age?
I'm gonna say 0 to
99.
99.
The only thing you can do as a parent is to continue to love them. That's it. Without the love, you are creating a world of trauma. It's a world of my mama don't love me, so I can do whatever and say whatever. That's how I feel. Once people feel like they don't have the loyalty from their family, or you go through something that is extremely hard, and I don't know this, but I feel like homosexuals probably go through very tough journeys. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you're not there during the toughest time, or you're not loyal and you family during the toughest time of someone's life, I think that's where they lose regards for a lot of things. I think that's where they lose a lot of morals and lose a lot of values, because I don't even have my family supporting me through one of the toughest times, or being loyal to me during one of the toughest times in my life. I just feel like that's when people go road rage. And that's on anything. Heterosexuals, homosexuals. Yeah. When I find kids that say their mama don't love them, I see it because of how they act. So I would say just continue to love. And I'm not a person that's fake. I wish I could be. Trust me, it will get me further in life. If I could be fake, it get me further. But I would say, as a parent, I've learned to be fake. And I think that parents do have to do that. I hate to say that, but I mean, on the inside, you could think all the things you want to think, but don't let it show on the outside, I would say. I would say, if you ever had to be fake in your life, fake it with your children until y'all come to understanding. That's what I would say.
There you go. What are some of the most significant things you've learned on this journey with your daughter? I mean, loving is a huge one.
I really think that's the only one. Just loving your child. I will say this. I have a really great moment. Um, when you know your children, I don't know how to say this. When you know your children, you can tell if they gonna be if people gonna get over them in this world. You can tell. I feel like this. I feel you can tell when people are going to get over on them, or people may not love them properly because of their naivety or their upbringing. Especially my children, because they are very sheltered. And Jada, being the youngest, extremely sheltered because she's the youngest. So I feel like I'm just happy to see that she's smiling and that somebody's calling her beautiful all the time, especially being on that academic journey with her, where when she was in school, she didn't look like all the other kids, talk like all the other kids, walk like all the other kids. And sometimes that gets on my nerves because she's not a prim, proper girl like myself or my oldest daughter. But just to see somebody loving her and telling her she's beautiful all the time, that was the most heartwarming or intriguing, invigorating, whatever you want to say, part of my journey with my daughter. Because when you see your children, you know if it's gonna be hard for somebody to love them, whether they smart mouth, gay, got disrespectful issues, no morals, nobody, whatever it is. You can look at your child and see their behavior and say it's gonna be hard for somebody to love them. So I'm happy to see that somebody is loving my daughter, or I'm not gonna say love because they just date, but somebody is encouraging my daughter, telling her that she's beautiful, just being a decent human being, showing genuine compassion towards her when knowing that she's a very quiet person, knowing that she's a very humble person, very shy person, probably had battled with insecurities. So to see that, that's what warms my heart. And that's the part I would never understand about other parents. If you see that your child probably struggle physically or emotionally or mentally a lot, lack friendships, lack building relationships outside of the home, which I think those are social issues, and you finally see your child coming into themselves and flourishing and being happy and smiling and giggling. I don't know. That warms my heart. Even if she is giggling with a girl, it warms my heart to see my child happy because you know in school it's cruel. We all know. Ooh. We all know teenagers are cruel, and then to add on top of it that you're battling with, or you confused about your sexuality, and now you got more people being mean to you. So just to see somebody loving my child, I think that's the best part of this journey. Or to see somebody just liking my child for who she is, that's the best part of this journey.
That's dope. That's dope. This has been a great conversation.
You think so? Because I don't think I interview well. I'll be looking all over the place like flies in the room.
I felt like it was a great conversation. I felt like, we pushed it forward, shared some tidbits from an actual parent who could, I be talking all the time, but I don't have kids. I just be wanting, like, I be telling people, like, I'm not about trauma. I've experienced enough trauma in my life. I don't want to be the cause of somebody else's trauma.
Yeah, I think what people need to realize is not loving your child, not supporting your relative, that's trauma in itself. That's where the trauma starts. The lack of love, the lack of support, the lack of loyalty, the lack of trust, and knowing that I can trust you with something that I'm dealing with. I didn't know that you're gonna go tell everybody about it. Go tell the whole church. Go tell all your friends. Yeah, and now you joking about me or waiting for my phase is over. I just feel like once you get the love in there, or just figure despite all odds, I think it'll work itself out. These kids don't know what they want at this age. That's what I'm 42. Sometimes I don't know what I want.
Oh, I'm 44. I know exactly.
I'm not talking about sexually.
Exactly what
I'm just saying. These kids still think chicken nuggets and McDonald's the greatest thing in the world, and you telling me they know what their sex is. So I totally don't think that. I don't believe that. Now, when they get older and they make those decisions, yes. But baby, you still eating Jack's Pizza, thinking it's the best thing in the world, something that you make in 12 minutes. You haven't traveled the world. You don't know anything to be making that decision. So just love them through their thought process, basically.
You ain't been on a cruise.
You ain't done nothing. You just know all of a sudden I like women. You don't know this. But I do think you still got to love them through that.
Yeah, I definitely I'm definitely grateful because I remember telling my grandma and my uncle that I was going to be with a woman. It was like, what? They just laughed it off. But I remember, and
See,
I
you
knew,
followed it through, but I think this
I
age is
knew,
just so
no,
popular that
again,
nobody
so this is what I was about to say, right? Like a lot of that's why I would love to interview somebody who's older
older, yeah.
because then we'll get like it's me, and I guess we could bring somebody younger too because I think even like with as far as like religion, right? Even with religion, like the youth is totally different about religion than like we are, or even the people that's older than us are about religion. Like the people, some of us couldn't wait to like get to a certain age so we ain't have to go to church from going to church all the time. And now like the young people, I'll be looking at them like, man, if only like I had that opportunity to be in a situation like that.
Wait, what you
But
mean?
like where they can go and be like free. They're not worried about like predators or stuff like that. Like they just go and worship freely. Like for me, I'll be watching them and I just be like, that's super dope. I hope that you stick with that. Or like I hope that that's something like you find solace in. Like even for people that's whatever you believe in. Like I hope that that brings you peace.
Peace. That's all that matters. It
Yeah.
should be bringing you peace.
That's
But
what
it can't if you got to fight the devil.
yeah,
You can't find peace if you're fighting the devil every day. That's so contradictory to me. How are you in peace and you fighting every day?
That's where I feel like me being in the space that I am in, I am at peace. I am in peace. I am enveloped in peace and love. And I don't want to, I'm not ready to leave out of this space to go into new space. I mean, whatever comes, I will just, but it feel like it took me so long to get here. I don't want to rush it. I just want it to be smooth.
You want to mellow out in this.
Yeah, I want to bask in the ambiance of peace.
I feel you.
And I've definitely been enjoying life in these these years. So it's been great, and I'm thank you for accepting the invitation to come and talk. I hope that y'all enjoy the conversation. I hope that you'll come back. That's all I got. I want you to remember that it is important for you to use your words because that is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling or what you are thinking. I'm gonna take you
not to look there.
Oh, wait, you still on the screen. Wait.
Okay.
Okay, you are. Remember that it's important for you to love yourself, know yourself, trust yourself, and for the love of humanity, just be yourself. Why? Because you need you, I need you, this great big old world needs you to be authentically you. Having said that, anybody that cannot love, respect, or appreciate you for being authentically you does not deserve to be in your space. It is time for you to learn, set, and understand boundaries, stand 10 toes down on them, and live. If you haven't been paying attention to the news, you most definitely should. Did y'all see the presidential debate the other day? Mm-mm. Y'all should definitely be paying attention to the news because not only the presidential debate, you got wars, you got all the other stuff that's happening in this world. And I want you and your family to be good regardless of what happens. Make sure you get your toiletries, non-perishable food items, water, disinfectants, and some cash, money, coins, or anything that you deem valuable to the side. And if you are an adult, I keep saying adult because I be thinking adults, but if you are someone that is engaging in adult activities, you know what I'm talking about. Make sure that you wrap it up because despite of being in a global pandemic for 4 years, the STD rates are rising and they are rising expeditiously in the youth. So if you or someone you love is young, tell them to wrap it up. If you're old, wrap it up. That's all I got. Until next time, I love you. Peace.